Hello, everyone. This is Eddie fucking Jackson from Queensrÿche, and you're listening to Ray and Steve on the I Remember Now podcast.
The heavens cry as darkness looms, robbed injustice, impending doom. Judgment strikes, might revealed, chaos unleashed, your fate is sealed. Now is the time to make up your mind and find out what is real. Fight or flight. You can't run from yourself. There has been a lot of running this week due to both of us having midweek Queensrÿche volume and vengeance shows to attend. I'm not going to speak for Steve, but I've been tired and playing catch up ever since. And we're going to tell you all about it, as this is our in-depth volume and vengeance tour review, and this is I Remember Now, the Queensrÿche podcast. So welcome, everybody. It's great to be back with a new episode of I Remember Now, the Queensrÿche podcast. We thank you for tuning in. I said during the intro that we're going to tell you all about the Volume and Vengeance tour, and that's what we've got today. But there is no we without my good buddy and co-host Steve Wright. Steve, what's going on, man? How you doing today?
Nothing, my friend. How are you? Good to be back. Not as long of a hiatus as we've had lately, but
yeah, how about that?
Good to see you. I don't even know what it looks like outside today because I actually didn't even look, but it's warm. It's warm for this time of year, so that's good.
Yeah, we've got to have our Pennsylvania weather update to start the show like we always do. It's a little chilly, a little gray, a little dreary here in western Pennsylvania. Same exact weather that it was the day of the concert that we'll be talking about tonight. As I said in the intro, I've been playing catch up all week, man. One thing I learned this week is I am too freaking old for midweek concerts that are an hour plus away from my house. I have just been hurting all week, like physically hurting. Like the other day I forget what I was doing, but I reached back and I got this sharp pain in my shoulder. I'm like, what the hell is going on with my shoulder? And then later in the day, I made this motion trying to stretch it out, and I realized
you got metal arm.
The cause of my pain was from fist pounding in the air. Since you guys can't see us, that was me pounding my fist in the air, but that is exactly where the pain started and where it continues to be. So the neck pain from headbanging is gone. The shoulder pain is still around. The tiredness is, I think, recovered now, but dude, I'm telling you, it took me a couple of days to get back to normal.
I'm good. See, what you got to do is you have to do the fist pumping when you're listening to your shit at home. So when you finally do go to a concert, you're in shape.
Yeah, I'm not in game shape. Oh, but man, it's been quite a week. We are going to do kind of what we did a couple episodes ago, and we talked about the Jeff Tate tour. We're going to kind of forego all the calls and all that stuff this time and just get right into it. We're also going to talk a little Thanksgiving stuff later on in the show. We're hoping to get this out pre-Thanksgiving, or at least during Thanksgiving week. So we're going to talk a little bit about things that we're thankful for. So I said we're not going to do calls, but we do have on the line with us live here in the I Remember Now studios our good friend and also a frequent caller, supporter of the show, and the gentleman that went to the Queensrÿche show with me. So without further ado, let's welcome in Jim from Irwin. Jim, how you doing, man?
Hi, this is producer Tim. Due to my grasshopper Ray not being able to record Zoom properly, there is no call from Jim. In lieu of Jim's call, please enjoy this music on hold. Thank you for listening to the I Remember Now, the Queensrÿche podcast.
Good. Great to have you. Thanks for getting up early with us on a Saturday morning and giving us some of your time. I guess before we get started, we'd like to just find out a little bit more about you and your Queensrÿche fandom. So if you can quickly, what brought you into the band and how long have you been a fan, all that kind of good stuff. So whatever you want to tell us.
I ate a tuna sandwich on my first day, so Andy started calling me Big Tuna.
Okay.
I don't think any of them actually know my real name.
It's still there.
He sold the car and it's still in the player.
In school, we learned about this scientist who trained dogs to salivate at the sound of a bell by feeding them whenever a bell rang.
Yeah.
So for the past couple of weeks, I've been conducting a similar experiment.
Yeah, still here. So you and I have got a lot of parallels then, because we're both from Western Pennsylvania, both grew up in the greater Pittsburgh area. So all those shows you mentioned, those are the same ones that I went to. So you were there at the old Civic Arena for the Building Empires tour, and I don't know what it was called at the time, Star Lake or Post Gazette Pavilion or First Niagara Pavilion. That's had like 1,000 names for the Promised Land tour. So it's kind of cool that we meet all these years later, and we've been around each other all the time.
White left his cell phone on his desk.
Always.
So, naturally, I paired it to my headset.
Yeah, that's been their place from the time that the arena era kind of faded away. The Palace kind of became their home venue around this area. I know they did multiple tours there, and I haven't seen all of them, but I've saw quite a few. I think it was probably my third or fourth time seeing them at the Palace this past week. So cool. Well, again, welcome. Glad to have you.
I am on the 2 kids sleep schedule, so I'm up and at 'em at 4:15, but no kids. So I honestly didn't know what to do with myself.
I know you've got a house full of kids that are going to be getting up soon, so we're not going to take up too much of your time. But we wanted to bring you on. First of all, thank you for going to the show with me. It was a lot of fun. It was good to hang out with you. Yeah, we met actually at the Jeff Tate show a month ago. You came out to the Asylum, I remember now, Summit, which we all went to the show together. But we didn't really get a chance to interact that much that night because there were so many people and we were in different rows and so on and so forth. So you did mention this. This is your first time seeing Queensrÿche with Todd LaTorre as the lead vocalist. So what'd you think? Just give us some general thoughts. What were your thoughts on the show?
I don't know who you are, but you are not Jim. This is Jim.
This is Jim. It is about 11:15, and I wanted to know what you were up to tomorrow, which is the 15th, and that is a Saturday, so just let me know what you're doing tomorrow, Saturday, for lunch. Okay, talk to you soon.
Yeah, he has really evolved as a frontman. That was one of my, I won't even say criticisms of him, but I just didn't think the first couple times I saw them that he was as polished a frontman. But I think over the years, he certainly has become that. And it's a natural progression. I mean, the guy was a drummer to start with, used to sitting behind the drum kit and then eventually became a frontman. And I think every time I see them, he gets better and better as that kind of master of ceremonies type frontman in terms of the way he addresses the crowd.
Last week, I was in a drugstore and I saw these glasses, $4. And it only cost me $7 to recreate the rest of the ensemble, and that's a grand total of $11.
Yeah.
Yeah. First of all, welcome, Jim. I didn't want to interrupt you while you were going. Welcome to the show. Glad you were able to make it. And yeah, I also think that Todd has really, I'll say, grown or evolved into that role. I'm sure when he started, there was a lot of Jeff Tate this, Jeff Tate that, but I think that the core people that go see them now, he's accepted as he's the front man, and he's really stepped it up performance-wise and, interaction with the fans. I think that was a great point you guys brought up.
Last week, I may have gone too far. I'll explain it quickly. Basically, I found out where he gets his clothes dry cleaned, custom ordered the same suit made with tearaway Velcro, and you can fill in the rest.
Damn it, Jim!
Yeah, he's really, really evolved. And that's just, and again, I'm not in since the beginning of the Todd era, which we'll talk a little more about that, had that conversation with him directly. It took me, 8-9 years that they'd been together before I ever even put on one of the records. And I'm not going to bore the audience with that story again. I've told it a million times on here. Just in the time that I've seen them over the last, 4 years now, he has just grown and evolved as a frontman and as a singer. I mean, the guy he's phenomenal, and there's no doubt about it.
Yeah, and I think that at this point in the game, too, that way fewer fans that are just, Jeff Tate people and don't know that Jeff Tate's not in the band. I think there's not a lot of people surprised anymore that, hey, holy shit, that's not Jeff Tate up there.
Yeah, for sure. I was shocked, though. I will say, at one point during the show, Todd asked the audience, how many people that are here tonight is this is your first Queensrÿche show? And there were a lot of hands went up.
There was at our show too. Yep.
Yeah, I thought for sure like the mass or the vast majority of the people in the audience would have been multiple times, but I would say it was half, maybe not half, but 35, 40%. I mean, I was really shocked at how many hands went up, and we were right down front, so I kind of turned around to look, to see how many hands were in the air, and I was shocked. Even the people right behind us, I turned around and went, really?
Yeah, probably about 25% at our show.
Yeah, it was a big number. So yeah, there are still people out there that are just experiencing them for the first time, which is a great thing. I mean, that's a good thing. That means that the music and the live shows live on. So Jim, from the Queensrÿche set, what was your one or two or three highlights? Like what were your three biggest takeaways or the three biggest highlights you had from the show?
Excuse me, everyone. Attention in the office, please. Jim is about to prove his telekinetic powers, and he needs absolute silence. Go ahead.
Okay, I'll try.
Cool. Yeah, those are good ones. Anything else? Any other memories, thoughts, any other opinions of the night?
Animal Control will be here at 6.
Well, Jim, thank you again for getting up early and jumping on with us, and we appreciate your support of the show, and we appreciate your calling in frequently and giving your opinions, and it's been a pleasure to get to know you personally, and it's just one of the cool things. We've talked about this many times on the show, like the outreach that these podcasts have and the people you get to meet is really the best part of doing what we do, and we've been able to meet, you're part of our daily group, our chat group, that we have people from all around the world, from South Africa and Germany and, you name it, in that group. And it's just so cool to get everybody's different perspectives and opinions and just like their take on the world and their take on life. And it's just been such an incredible thing to get to meet everybody, and to meet someone like yourself that's, right down the road kind of from me is just, it's the best part of doing what we do. So it's been great to get to know you. It was great to hang out with you, and look forward to doing it again.
All right, good night, Gabe. I just wanted to say thanks again because I really think I made good use of my day.
Yeah, so we mentioned the Jim's a frequent caller to our show. We're not going to do some other calls today because we got a lot to cover, and we don't want this to be a 4-hour show, especially since it's hopefully going to come out during a holiday week when we know everybody's busy. So we'll mention, though, if you would like to participate in the show, you can call us at 336-422-6862. You can leave a voicemail there on that number. Or you can email us a voice note, an MP3 file, whatever, at feedback@iremembernowpodcast.com. And then we will get you on the next one. If you've called or left us a voice note from the last episode, we'll get it on the next one that we'll be recording here in, 10 days? Something like that. So you'll be on the next one. We haven't forgotten about you. So, no, that was cool having Jim on the show. We had a great time. It was good hanging out with him. Of course, when you're at a concert with somebody, it's hard to have real conversations. You're screaming in each other's ears the entire time. And
so
we
you
were
guys,
able to hang out
didn't
before
meet
the show.
beforehand or no?
Well, we did, but we didn't have a lot of time because, as we'll talk about, I purchased the meet and greet experience, which was before the show. And Jim wasn't able to secure a babysitter until a little bit later in the evening. So we basically hooked up at about 6:45-ish, somewhere around there.
Oh, that's not a lot of time,
No, so we hung out and went to were able to chat in the merchandise line and had a drink and just kind of chilled. But then we only had probably 45 minutes before the show started, and then once that happened, there's not really much you can do other than high five each other and fist bump and that kind of thing.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, we actually left in time, so we had a bite to eat. The venue that we go to, there's 2 restaurants that's kind of the same. One side's like a sports bar type place, and then the other side is more of a little more formal, not suit and tie or anything. But we always try to go there, and we literally got the last table because we got a little bit later start because there's one spot. It's maybe a 35-minute drive, but this was probably closer to 45 because there's just stupid traffic that there's no need for. like one of those things where everyone bunches up and then you get going again. You're like, there was nothing, So So we were able to get a bite to eat. It was myself, BC, BB, and Dylan. We were supposed to meet other friends there. We actually saw one of them. She was there before we were, but the rest of the crew, they didn't get there. They got a late start too, so we didn't hook up with them till during the show. And I'll tell you what, Accept started about 3 minutes early because we got there. The security, it took me less time to get through TSA than to get through the goddamn security at this show.
Really?
Like I had a bazooka in my backpack or something, you know what I mean? Like, it was crazy. It was like, Jesus Christ, let's let us in.
You're on the list, Steve.
Yeah. So, I've been on lists before. But because we were standing there, we got a beer. I think BC went down to the bathroom. We were looking at the merch, and I'm like, we got probably a couple minutes to go. And then someone opened the doors, and I'm like, shit, they're started already. So, we missed maybe the first minute of Accept when we went in, but so it was okay.
Yeah, they were very timely.
Yeah.
So what we're going to do is we're going to just kind of walk through our experiences, similar to what we did with Jeff Tate, and I will go first since my show was first. I saw them this past Tuesday night. What date was that? November 2018? 2018. It was the 18th. Palace Theater, Greensburg, Pennsylvania. I was debating for weeks whether or not to buy the meet and greet or not. Finally decided, I think Saturday, to do it, and was really glad that I did. It was a little bit of uncertainty though, because when you first buy it, you get the email that says plan to be at the venue by 3 p.m. because they do this before the show, and I'm like, wow, 3 p.m. that's a lot of time to kill between meet and greet, and then it's like, well, within 24 hours you'll get the actual time and everything. So the actual time was actually 5:30, not 3 p.m. So I was able to complete my work day and all that kind of stuff, and then get on the road over to Greensburg. So got there, and you just kind of wait outside the venue until they come and get you. The gentleman's name is Dino Spamoni, I believe it is, Spamoni. He is the merchandise manager for Queensrÿche. He kind of was like the master of ceremonies for the meet and greet also. So he came out with venue security and let everybody in. There was 8 of us, I think, that were a part of the meet and greet. And we're just kind of hanging out inside the venue by the merchandise tables. Next thing you know, the entire band's just there. There was no announcement. There was no nothing. They just kind of appeared. It was like, oh, hey, look, there's Eddie Jackson. It was a really, really cool experience. It was totally different than some of the meet and greets I've done in the past, where there's tables and the dudes are just kind of sitting behind the table and you get to talk to them and take a picture or whatever. This was like being at a cocktail party with the band. They just mingled with the crowd. Each one of the guys made sure they talked to everybody that was there. And it wasn't just like, hey, how you doing? Sign an autograph and move on. This was like actual interaction, real conversations. It was just a surreal experience for me. I think that's the word I used in my Facebook post. It felt like we were doing the podcast on site, but with the source material, having them right there. It was really, really just a phenomenal experience, and I really encourage anybody, if you're on the fence about it, if you've never done it, if you're going to do one meet and greet in your life, this is the one to do, because they really, really do it upright. I mean, you will not have a better experience at a meet and greet with an artist than you will at a Queensrÿche meet and greet. The guys all could not have been more friendly, engaging, warm, receptive. I mean, it was like, and I know you're obviously paying money to be there, so I hate to say you're paying them to be nice and engage with you, but they don't have to do that. I've been to some of these where you pay and it's like a very robotic kind of thing.
You could tell when it's forced.
Yeah. It's like, I'm only doing this because I have to, and because I can make an extra $150, because you showed up. This was not like that at all. This was like, you could tell they really enjoyed doing this. They really enjoy interacting with their fans, and it wasn't short either. I mean, it was 45 minutes or so, I'd say, and it was just surreal is the word I always use. I was just standing there talking to these guys that have been like, and I told them like the soundtrack of my life for all these years. And like, it's just so weird to just be standing here and actually having a real conversation with you. And at first I was a little nervous, because I'm about to meet these guys that I've loved for so long. And then like the first thing I noticed was, my God, they are all so short. Like, I had no idea. Like, when you see them, like, on stage, they look so much bigger. And I know I'm 6'9", I'm a big dude. But, like, they're, like, short. Like, that was the first thing I said to Todd Latour. He came up to me and said, "Hey, man, how are you?" Like, shakes my hand and gives me, like, a, bro hug. And he's like, "You're a big dude." I'm like, I never realized how short you are. And I feel like an idiot, for saying that. He's like, "Wow, you're just tall." I'm like, "No, dude, you're kind of on the short side." As I said, you look so big on stage. Like, it's just amazing. Like, you're just not. And he got a good laugh out of it. But there's not a dude over 5'7" in that band.
No,
they're all like very, very short dudes. But so yeah, they had a good laugh about that. They all thought my height was amazing. And like, if you guys have seen the pictures, but Todd was like, "I'm not taking a picture with you standing on the ground." So he went and got a chair and stood on the chair next to me. So he was taller than I was. Yeah, just really, really great experience. I don't want to get in depth into what the conversations were about, but like, we really, really had some real legitimate conversations. And we talked, of course, about the set list. I wasn't going to let that opportunity pass me by. Like I said, I really wish. I was talking with Todd, and I believe it was with him, Michael, and Eddie were all kind of together with me. And so, we talk on the podcast all the time about set lists and dream set lists and this, that, and the other thing. And we're just really like into that stuff. And they're like, and I think it was Michael said, "Yeah, we are too." Like he said, "You have no idea like how much thought and work we put into putting a set list together." I'm like, "Well, what do you mean?" And he's like, "Well, imagine doing this for, 40 years, and you've got this huge catalog of material, and you've got people coming to see you that have been there since the beginning, like yourself, and you've got people who this is their first show. Like, how do you strike the balance between making all those people happy?" He said, it's number one, it's impossible. We're never going to make everybody happy. Somebody's always going to have a bitch or complain about something. I'm like, "Yeah, I'm usually the guy that has the bitch or the complaint." And they laughed. And I said, I said, a lot of the feedback that we get from our audience, and again, it's a small sample size. You guys know your audience better than we do, obviously, but like, is that we really want to hear more of the new material. And he said, Michael said, "Yeah, that's what everybody says." And then Todd chimes in and goes, "Until we play the new material." So to give you an example, we did a show, it was like one of their one-off shows, and he said, and we've been trying to like pound behind the walls into people's head. Like, we're keeping it in every set. We want everybody to know that. We want that to become like a staple song for us, just like a Jet City Woman or I Don't Believe in Love or Eyes of a Stranger. But to this day, like, we'll play Jet City Woman and the crowd's going crazy, and then we go into Behind the Walls, and Todd just made this face, like, and everybody's face is just like, like looking at the stage, like, and literally like it feels like 10% of the crowd knows what you're doing, and the other 90% just check out. And he goes, and that's a weird feeling when you're on stage, because you want to keep the momentum going, you want to keep the energy going, and as much as we love that new material and would love to play more of it, like, we have to cater to the audience and their reactions. So it was just really interesting to like hear, like, we're always like, "Oh, they just want to cater to the old people," but I mean, there's a tremendous amount of thought and planning and trial and error that goes into it. And we really got in depth into it. I'm like, "Dude, I can nerd out on this stuff all night long." I said, "Well, I could stay here. You guys will be late for the show if you let me get started on this stuff." So it was really, really good conversation. We talked about songwriting. We talked about the new album, how that's coming along, which it sounds like we are definitely going to get a new album in 2026. We talked just all the nerd stuff I ever wanted to know, and they could not have been more engaging and welcoming. Like, they loved it. At least they felt like they loved the questions, and instead of just being, "Oh, hey, nice to meet you," like, I think they thought it was cool. Like, this dude's a total fucking nerd, And
yeah, and I wonder how many people they get at the meet and greets that are that, not what you are, like, with that, just like, hey, they just want to get their stuff signed, they just want to say hello, they don't, get into them like fans like you and I do, and but it is cool when you do speak to someone like that and they're receptive, and you could tell, like I said, you could tell when someone is going
100%.
through the motions. When we did a meet and greet with Geddy Lee and Alex Lifeson, Geddy Lee, he would have rather been in the fucking dentist chair than be at that goddamn meet and greet when we did it. But like Alex Lifeson was great, and we've done a couple throughout the years, and you could definitely tell when someone is engaging and
it's
someone
just
is
part
like
of the job,
really,
or it's something they really enjoy doing.
Yeah, I'm sure you didn't tell them how close you were to not even going to the show.
I did not. And Steve, you can smack me. Tim, insert a good smack sound right here. Oh! For even having the thought in my head of not going to this show. Like it was, and we're going to get into more of it, but like the entire experience, the same thing I said about the Jeff Tate show, was like from start to finish, one of the best nights of my life in terms of, going to some sort of entertainment source, just from start to finish. It was incredible. The one thing I did forget to bitch about was, and afterwards I was like, damn it, it's just like doing a podcast. You always forget about that one thing. I wanted to bitch, but why don't you guys give Lost in Sorrow some credit, man? Like, you've done videos for every song on that album except for that one. It's the best song on the album, I think. Like, what is the deal with that song? Why do you guys not give it the recognition it deserves? But I totally forgot because I got off on a million different tangents with them, and it was just cool, man. Like, to be able to shake their hands and give them hugs and, wrap your arms around them to get pictures taken, and it just was a great experience. All of them were just as engaging as they could be. Casey's very quiet. He just kind of keeps to himself. You have to kind of engage him. But like when you do, like he's very, very friendly. We talked a lot about the drum sound on DNA. I said, we were really impressed with the tone of the drums. And we talked about how he achieved that sound, and, that he really wanted to make a mark because it was his first album with the band, that he knew he had one chance to make a good impression. And like, he really, really took that seriously. Because knowing that he was, replacing a legend, like Scott, mentioned, a couple of times I referenced him as your former singer, and Eddie Jackson goes, "It's okay, you can say his name." He's like, "We're cool now," which I thought was pretty cool.
Good.
He's like, "Yeah,
that's good to hear too."
He said he brought his whole band to see us in Sweden or something. They're on tour at the same time, and I guess Jeff took his band to see Queensrÿche. Cool. So I guess, yeah. So they're I won't say they're on good terms, but they're at least on speaking terms. And I think bygones have become bygones, and they're both doing their thing. And it was just a phenomenal experience. And I again highly encourage, if you've ever considered doing it for them and haven't, do it. It is worth every penny that you spend. Got my DNA album signed by the entire band. They also give you a nice little kit of merch along with the meet and greet. Got like a really cool magnet and some like a sticker to put on your car. Got a Queensrÿche beanie, tassel cap kind of thing, which actually fits my giant head.
Wow.
And it's pretty cool. It's just kind of blue and black, has the Tri-Rike in the middle. You get some little tchotchke stuff, guitar picks, all that stuff. Plus, as you're talking to them, they're all handing you picks, and it's just a phenomenal experience. And can't say enough about it.
That's cool. I gotta tell our listeners out there. I don't know if you have seen Ray's pictures from this meet and greet. He literally looks like he's in Munchkin Land. He sent me the pictures that night, and I was dying. I'm like, oh my god, and I'm not I'm like 5'9", so and because I was comparing, and I'm like, geez, remember when I got my Ray and I took a picture in Pittsburgh? I'm like, the difference is big. I said, but like those guys are even shorter than me. Super nice guys. I've talked to Todd a couple times. I've talked to Mike Stone. Just said hello to Eddie Jackson and Michael, but I did get to sit down once on one of the Kiss cruises with Casey. I spoke to him for probably 40 minutes. We sat at the bar and shot the shit, him and I and his drum tech. Super nice guy, and and he was very engaging. He's very respectful of Scott and his legacy and everything like that. Just super nice guy. I'm glad you did that. I'm glad you went to the show, because I was telling my guys, I'm like, Ray's like seriously consider not going to that show. And they're like, what? And I'm like, yeah. I said, he's finally going to suck it up and he's going to go. And then I'm like, oh, by the way, he's doing the meet and greet. They're like, what the fuck is he?
Yeah, I'm either all in or all out. Producer Tim will tell you that. That's his critique of my personality. I'm either all in or I'm all out on stuff. So, yeah, it was funny because you can like really see the personalities. Like I said, they're all very warm, very friendly. But Michael Wilton, you can say he's very shy. Like he's the type like he's great once you engage him, but like he's not going to be the one to
get it going.
Yeah, whereas Eddie and Todd are the exact opposite. Like Todd is just like the life of the party. Like you can just tell. Like as soon as he comes in the room, he's high-fiving everybody and hugging everybody, and Eddie's cracking jokes and yeah, they all have very distinct personalities. Stoney was awesome. I told him, I'm glad you're back in the band, and I really always thought your stage presence was very cool. Like you've kind of got your own image and your own look, and which he looked nothing like that during the meet and greet. He was wearing like sweatpants and a ball cap, but I probably wouldn't even have recognized him if I wouldn't have known who it was, if I just bumped into him on the street. Yeah, I just can't say enough about the interactions with the guys. So if you've ever done it or thought about doing it, do it. It's worth every penny you'll spend on it. All right, so enough about the meet and greet and about me and gushing about my experience. Let's talk about the show itself. We were right down front. We were 5 rows back, I think, something like that. We were actually in the exact same row we were in for Jeff Tate, but on the opposite side of the section. We were on the left side of the stage as opposed to the right, except hit the stage right on time. Like you said, Steve, they're a little early for your show. A blistering set of music. Like it was just punch you in the face from the first note and not stop punching you in the face until they got off the stage. Like it was just killer. I've been a longtime fan of the band, but I honestly have not kept up with the new version. I've listened to all the new albums over the last year or so. Found them all to be very good, but just haven't really dug in and gotten to really like know a lot of that material. But was a huge fan of from Restless and Wild through Russian Roulette, kind of as Jim mentioned.
Please, no!
When he was on, I haven't listened to that album in a while. I'm gonna have to go back to that one. But like Restless and Wild, Balls to the Wall, Metal Heart, like those were 3 albums, just constant rotation, back in those days. So was really looking forward to hearing songs from those albums. And, of course I looked at the set list ahead of time because I wanted to prep. I wanted to familiarize myself with the newer songs they were doing. And they did, 3 new songs? 1, 2... Yeah, 3 of the newer, or no, 4, I'm sorry. 4 of the opening song was too. So real quickly, if you don't want to hear the set list, hit your fast forward button. Although we're going to probably talk about individual songs too, so we're going to spoil throughout this thing. So they opened with The Reckoning, which was a great opening tune. I thought it really set the tone very well. Went into Restless and Wild, did Midnight Mover, which was a surprise because they had not done that. I looked at the first couple nights of the tour, got the set list, made a playlist, because I wanted to learn the new songs they were doing. Midnight Mover was not in that, and I'd actually texted Steve, hey, look, Accept's doing 4 new tunes, and I'm going to be the ultimate hypocrite here. I'd rather hear Love Child and Midnight Mover and those songs than their new stuff. And of course, Steve sent me the faceplant emoji back because all we ever do is bitch about not playing enough modern Queensrÿche songs. So they added Midnight Mover, which they didn't drop a new song though. They dropped Princess of the Dawn, which was a song I was looking forward to hearing and have heard a million times. They always play that song, but it was not in the set on the night that I saw them anyway. So they did Straight Up Jack, which that's like an AC/DC song, man. That reminds me of it's very AC/DC-ish. It's
it's more hard rock than metal.
Yeah, and it's a different kind of topic. Accept is more metal type stuff, and it's about drinking, basically. And they did Breaker, which I wasn't familiar with. I was actually thinking that was a new song, but it's actually an old song from like their second or third album. And I remember, much like Judas Priest for me, I remember going backwards. Like I got into Accepted, Balls to the Wall, as I think a lot of people did in America. Went back to Restless and Wild, loved that album. And then I kept going back, and the further back I went, the less I liked it. So I just always kind of focused on Restless and Wild forward. So I was not familiar with Breaker, but it was killer. It was a badass tune. So I'm actually looking forward to going back and listening to some of that older stuff now. Then they got into Metal Heart, which is a crowd pleaser. Everybody loves that tune, especially the guitar solo part in the middle. Teutonic Terror, which is killer. That song just was bone crushing. And then Fast as a Shark, which I, for my money, will say is the first speed metal song I ever heard. Even though Accept is not known for being a speed metal band, they kind of went into that territory very early in their career. Then a newer song, Pandemic, and then they finished with Balls to the Wall, of course. Just, brought the house down with Balls to the Wall. They did a great job of what an opening band is supposed to do, get the crowd fired up. I want to give the crowd that was there credit, at least around me. Everybody was standing from the first note to the last note. There were people sitting on the sides and stuff, and I'm sure the balcony was probably sitting, but the vast majority of the people who were in the middle, who were down front, were up and were rocking out from the first moment. The band was great. Wolf Hoffman, of course, I believe is the only original member of the band, lead guitarist. Dude looks like $1 million, man. That dude, he's 65 years old. He looks like he's 40.
He does.
I mean, he is in great shape. He looks good. He looks like a goddamn rock star, man. I mean, he is a big dude. Maybe he's 5'8", I don't know, but he looks huge on stage. I don't know if he's got to be 6'3", 6'4", I would think.
Yeah, he's pretty tall.
Yeah, it's got a very, very commanding stage presence, and you can tell the other band members give him the spotlight, because it's his thing, He does a lot of the solos, up on the little riser thing in the middle, and he does a good job of going back and forth on the stage to make sure that he engages with people on all parts of the crowd. Mark Tornillo, is it Tornillo, however you say his name?
Mark Tornillo.
Okay, he was great. Jim did say that his
No! God, please, no!
vocals were a little low in the mix, and I think they were at first. They got that corrected later in the show, but you could hear him. He sounded great. He sounds just like Udo. I mean, you can almost not tell the difference. I've read some things where people have been critical of him that he doesn't do the older songs as well, and who does than the original guy, but I thought he did a great job. I had zero complaints on his performance. Martin Motnick on bass, Chris Williams on drums, and Philip Schaus, I'm not sure how you say that.
Phil Schaus
on the rhythm guitar. But they were tight as fuck. They played great. They put a great set list together, a nice mix of new and old. I could not have been happier with Accept. I thought they were a kick-ass choice to open this show, and they did a great job of getting the crowd pumped up.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, I absolutely love Accept. I saw them only twice back in the day. I saw them once. I saw them with a triple bill. It was Rough Cut, Accept, and then Crocus, another favorite of yours.
Oh yeah,
at a theater in Scranton, and then I saw them on the Russian Roulette tour opening for Dio on the second time around in Sacred Heart with Craig Goldie, and then I hadn't seen them again until after 2010 when Mark was in the band. And I remember when that Blood of the Nations album came out, they got, which is probably my favorite modern producer, Andy Sneap, to produce them. And what he did was, when they engaged him to produce them, he said, very first thing we're going to do is you're going to take a week or whatever. You need to all go back and listen to your old albums up till like Metal Heart or Russian Roulette, and get in that mode. And man, that Blood of the Nations album, like when that came out, we were like over the friggin' we were like, holy shit, they're back. This guy's great. And
yeah, it's really good.
Mark used to be the lead singer in a band called TT Quick from New Jersey, and they have what's considered a a good classic metal album. It's called Medal of Honor.
I remember that.
Really good.
I didn't
album.
realize that was him though.
Yeah, that's him. But great. And it's funny now. Like half the band is Americans.
Yeah.
Mark is. I've met Mark a couple times. He's a friend of mine, and I spoke with him on Monsters of Rock Cruise 2 years ago for probably 45 minutes. Me, him, and his wife stood there talking, and it was he had just retired from his job as a union electrician, and I had just retired from the fire department. So we were talking about our jobs and how nice it was to retire from our original careers. And just absolutely super nice guy. His wife was an absolute sweetheart. They asked me what I did and I told them I just retired. She, thank you for your service, gave me a big hug, and I'm like, but it's like super nice. Christopher Williams.
Think about that for a minute. Like, what's your retirement job? Oh, I'm a greeter at Walmart. I'm the lead singer for Accept. I tour the world singing classic metal tunes.
Yeah, we just got back.
Crazy.
We just got back from Switzerland. Yeah, yeah. So and Christopher Williams, we've met him at the Rockin' Pod. Phil Schaus, I know him pretty well through the Rockin' Pods and stuff like that. We've had many conversations, and super nice guy. Martin Motnick, I talked to him a couple times, and like really, Wolf Hoffman's the only guy I've never met in the current band, but like his stage presence is just commanding. He commands that stage.
Yeah, he's the leader. Yep.
But they are so well practiced. Their moves and
they've always been.
They're just a fantastic visual band, and they fit the music. The set list I thought was fantastic. I would rather see Princess of the Dawn than Midnight Mover. It's not one of my favorite songs with those guys. But I don't know. Did you notice that when they did Balls to the Wall, it was slowed down a little bit?
Yes. It did,
because I said to the guys, I'm like, this is like slow, like not a lot, but like noticeable slower.
Yeah.
And one thing that they didn't do last time we saw them last year around this time too. When they do Fast as a Shark, we saw them with KK's Priest, which I know you're a huge fan of. When they do Fast as a Shark, they would throw out an inflatable shark, and it would bounce around the crowd and everything.
Oh.
They didn't do that at this show, but from the last show I was at, I got the shark.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Like you kept the shark?
I kept the shark. It was we were on a side. We had VIP seats, so we were on the side in like this little balcony on the side, and it was laying in the pit. So the security guard was right under me. I tapped him on the shoulder. I'm like, "Give me that shark." He's like, "What?" I'm like, "Give me the shark." So I got the shark. I'll just send it to you. There's a picture of us in the thing.
You got to get that autographed
with holding with all of us with the shark. It's friggin' fantastic.
That's funny.
I understand why they do Balls to the Wall at the end, but like Pandemic before that, holy shit, did they fucking tear it up on that song.
Yeah, that song was great.
Oh my God. I wish that they flipped those two songs. I get that they do Balls to the Wall at the end, but like it was kind of a come down after Pandemic, because like we were like rocking the hell out to that song. Yeah. And but just a great set. Always love seeing those guys. And you're right, the only time I've really seen them do like a headliner show was Monsters of Rock Cruise. The first show that they played on the ship, that was like the first day we were on the boat, they played like 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and the one was called Studio B. It was like a little arena, because one of my friends had talked to Phil before the show, and he said, if you're going to go to any of our shows, he says, make sure you go to the first one. They played for like an hour and 45 minutes on the first set, and no one plays that long on the ship. No one. We were just like drained by the time that show was over. It was so freaking awesome. Just a great band. I will take the opportunity to see them every time. I wish they played a little longer. I get it. Like, and the new stuff just kills, man. It just freaking kills. Like Teutonic Terror. Come on.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, that middle part of the set, like from Metal Heart through the end, like Metal Heart, Teutonic Terror, Fast as a Shark, Pandemic, Balls to the Wall, that's as good as it gets, man.
Yeah.
At a metal show. Like, it was just, you just felt like you're getting pummeled for like 30 minutes, You mentioned they're like, I don't even call it choreography, but they've got like their moves they do, and they've always done that. I don't know if I've ever mentioned on this show, I know I've told this story on Asylum, but Accept is the first metal band I ever saw live. My first concert was The Police, and Bow Wow Wow opened for them. And then my first metal show or hard rock show was Kiss on the Lick It Up tour in 84. I think it was the early 84. And Accept was the opening band. And they literally made such an impression on me. Like, cause you're still in those young formative years. Like I loved the Police. I had been a Kiss fan since I was a kid. I was getting into like the Motley Crues and that kind of stuff, but I was still like pop and I was into kind of everything. And then like, as soon as I saw them live, like, and heard those guitars like live for the first time, I want to say their opening song was Love Child from Balls to the Wall, which this day is one of my favorite metal tunes, not just Accept songs.
That's a great one.
Oh my God, just that opening, that opening riff. Like I remember seeing that as a kid and just being like, oh, these are my people. This is my crowd. This is what I want to do for the rest of my life. I will never listen to anything other than this. And at least have it be my favorite stuff. And I just was an instant metalhead from that moment on. Like that was, and they were that impactful on me. And I just remember seeing Udo up there in his little camouflage outfit looking like a freaking evil troll, just walking around, and the other dudes with their long hair and doing their rock back and forth with their flying V's. And I was like, oh my God, this is the coolest thing I've ever seen in my life. And so they were the first metal band I saw. So it was really cool to kind of come full circle and see them again, in 2025, albeit, a completely different version of the band, but it didn't fucking matter, man. Like Jim said, no! There's always people that are going to say, it's not Queensrÿche, it's not Accept, it's not whoever. Fuck, dude. That was goddamn Accept on that stage that night. It sounded just like it did, just like it did in 1983 or 4. And just, they were so tight. I love their backdrop too. It's very simple. Just a wall of amplifiers with Accept logos on them. It just was so perfect for them and their image. The drums right in the middle.
Well, they did have the backdrop.
They did, yeah.
They did have the backdrop of the
humanoid
album
thing.
Yeah.
But if you look at the cover of Restless and Wild, I think it was the second. I think they had 2 covers for that album, if I remember right. But there's one that's like a live shot. It looks just like that. Like it's just a wall of amplifiers, drums in the middle, and the band. It was perfect for Accept. And I was tired by the time Accept was over. Like, I'm like, oh my God, this is going to be a long night. Because I was already like on a high from the meet and greet. And then you go right into the Accept portion. And like by the time they were done, I was like, holy shit, I'm going to be exhausted by the time this is over with. So Accept gets done. And then it was pretty quick. I mean, there wasn't a long time for the changeover for the stage. I mean, it was maybe 15 minutes or so. Like they kept things moving, which us old guys admit. And I want to thank Queensrÿche for this too. Thank you for doing your meet and greets pre-show. That is such a better experience than like when I did the Jeff Tate one, which was also a great experience, taking nothing away from that one. But it was after the show and you're like tired and it's late and like you're just kind of sitting around for a while afterwards. You don't have that, that high you have like when you come out of the show, you're all jacked up, Doing it before the show was just like the perfect like appetizer, to get you in the mood for the show. It was really just a great way to spend the evening. Go meet and greet, then Accept, and then Queensrÿche. So
it probably gives them something to do. Because I mean,
like in between sound check and show,
it's got to be like there's got to be a lot of sitting around with these guys on tour. So I think that's probably a good gap for those guys for something to do rather than just sitting backstage and here we are. So I mean, I'm sure it takes up a good portion of time, and I think maybe that's one of the reasons too that they're so upbeat and into it, and
yeah. I would think as an artist and just as a human being, like it would probably put you in a good headspace too. Like you're about to go on stage, you're about to play. Like it's okay to have like 45 minutes of people just telling you how awesome you are, before you do that, Get a little ego stroking before you go on stage. Yeah, it was super cool. So then Queensrÿche hits the stage. I want to compliment them for this first. Thank you for not making me listen to a fucking Pantera song before you come on stage, because I think Pantera is horrid, and they've come on to Walk forever, and this time they switched it to Mob Rules from Sabbath, which I thought was a great opening, walk-up song. Then they do that recorded thing about the Queen of the Reich, which I can live without. Like I'm not that into that. It's kind of silly. It's like it reminds me of the video, from the Goofy video they did for it back in the day. But it gets you pumped up. You know what's coming. So they hit the stage. Again, if you want to not know the set list, probably don't listen to this show until after you do, but I'll just run through the set that we had. 16 full songs, we'll say. Queen of the Reich was the opener, Walk in the Shadows, Breaking the Silence, I Don't Believe in Love, Arrow of Time, NM 156, London, Behind the Walls, Take Hold of the Flame, Speak, In Extremis, Jet City Woman, Empire, My Empty Room, Eyes of a Stranger, and then that was the end of the set. Came back for encores of Nuit Regale, and then I Remember Now, Anarchy X, and closed the show with Revolution Calling. So first, let's talk about the set list. When I first saw it, I was like, yeah, it's a pretty good list. I love all the songs that are on it for the most part. Not enough Todd stuff for my liking, because we were bitching about, are they going to do more modern stuff on this tour, blah, blah, blah. I was happy there was 3 songs, but I'm thinking, it could be 5 or 6, I think would be better. Of course, I bitched about playing Operation Mindcrime songs and then particularly playing them out of order, which makes me crazy. But I tell you, Steve, at the show, I didn't give a fuck. It was like that whole... We always talk about the rock and roll all night thing with Kiss. Like, for your entire life, you're like, I don't ever need to hear that song again as long as I live. And then when you're at a Kiss show and they start playing that song, you lose your freaking mind and you love it like it's the first time you've ever heard it.
Yep. And
that's the way I felt all night long about all these songs. Like, when they went into Breaking the Silence as the first song they played from Mindcrime, I didn't give a fuck. Like, it was perfect. It was Breaking the Silence. It's exactly what I wanted to hear at that moment. No, I thought the set list was very good. They followed the I Remember Now rule of every live set list has to have Walk in the Shadows in it. So they did that right off the bat. Second song in, sounded phenomenal. The sound was really good. I've seen them a couple of times where they've been a little muddy at first, and then they get it honed in, but it sounded pretty good right out of the gate. I posted like a live video of the show beginning. Apologies for my screaming in the background. But I mean, you can hear the show sounded great. Todd sounded great right out of the gate. Really, really tight on the sound. The snare punched you in the face, which it should. That was the complaint we had about the Jeff Tate show. The snare was too low in the mix. I thought the mix was really good all night long. Don't have a single complaint about sound. As far as the set list itself, highlights for me, the 3 new songs, Arrow of Time, In Extremis, and Behind the Walls. All 3 of them were just phenomenally performed, and they could not have sounded better. They were just flawless, and really, really enjoyed those 3 songs. They were a combined highlight for me. Arrow of Time, honestly, I like it, but I don't love it. I think I love it now after I've seen him play it live. It was the first time I've ever seen him play it live. Really? Yeah, and it really, really just went over well and sounded great. It gave me a whole new appreciation for that song. I'd seen the other 2 before. And that was my one criticism I had of the new songs they picked. Like, well, 2 of these we've already heard before on these other tours. I'm sure they've played Arrow Time before I was into the new version of the band. But, and then having the conversation with them about Behind the Walls, and like, I get it now. Like, I understand why you're playing the ones you're playing. The other highlights for me, the deep cuts they picked. London, Nuit Regale, fucking A, dude. Like, to hear those songs live for the first time in a long time. I saw them live when Jeff did the Empire and Rage for Order tour, probably 4 or 5 years ago. Haven't heard them since then. and they both sounded so good. Oh my God, London was like, I was like goosebumps when they were doing London. And then the other thing I was critical of when I first saw the set list is, why would you end the set with Revolution Calling? Like, that just didn't make sense to me. But dude, it worked. Like, it was a great closing tune. Like, I in a million years would never think of closing a show with Revolution Calling, but they hit you with the deep cut of Nuit Regale when they first come back. And then it goes right into the I Remember Now part and the Anarchy X, and just, it was a perfect ending to the show. The energy level was off the charts the entire show. The stage presence was great. I literally have zero complaints, which is amazing, because I always find something to bitch about. Also, just the performance of Walk in the Shadows was phenomenal. Take Hold of the Flame was great. That's another song that, like, there should never be a Queensrÿche set without that song in it, because it's just such a great crowd participation song, and Todd sang it very well. And then the other real big highlight for me was Speak. When they did Speak, like, it brought the house down, man. Like, that, they rocked the shit out of that song. It was so good. The one change that they had made to the set list was they added Jet City Woman, which, if you looked at the set list from the earlier shows on the tour, they had not done that. They didn't drop anything. They just added it, which was nice, was appreciated. They added it, actually, I think 1 or 2 shows before the one I saw. Northfield, Ohio on 11/15 was the first time they stuck it in. They decided to keep it. I'm glad they did. That's a song I can always hear. Never have zero fatigue, especially in a live environment. The only thing I would say, if I could rewrite the set list, now that I've seen it, NM156 can go away forever, as far as I'm concerned. Like, that song just is... They've just done it. It's not a bad song. It's not one of my favorites. It's a lower tier song for me, but, like, they've just done that song so many times over the years. Like, it seems like every freaking tour that song's in the set list. And there's just so much other stuff that's better than that song. And for me, it always just kind of brings me down a little bit when they start it. They do it well. I mean, it sounds good, but it's just like, So I would pull that. I would add another newer song in that spot. And then the other place where I would do a newer song is I would do either Breaking the Silence or I Don't Believe in Love. I wouldn't do both of them. I'd take one of them because they're like sister songs. They're very similar. They both were great, don't get me wrong, but, like, if I'm looking for a place to add another modern era song, I'd drop one of those and add one there. So that's really the only critique I have. Other than that, dude, the set list was great. It was a great mix of old and new. It was a great mix of hits and deep cuts. I mean, it was just a very, very well-constructed set list, and I have a much greater appreciation for it after having the conversations with them that I did. So... I am tired of talking. What do you got, Steve?
All right. When they first started doing the tour, I'm like, I don't want to see the set list, but I saw it by accident on Facebook. Someone had posted. I think I texted you, like, God damn it, I saw the set list.
Within seconds. Like, the first thing I saw that morning when I opened my eyes was the Queensrÿche set list.
Shit. But I kind of put it out of my mind, and I forgot what they did. So I knew they opened up with Queen of the Reich, and that one I knew. So, but I mean, they blaze at that middle part where the
oh yeah,
man, they just crushed that. Casey sounded awesome, and I said to the guys, I'm like, listen to the fucking snare, listen to the snare, because like you said, we didn't get that at the Jeff Tate show.
Yeah,
and but I mean, it sounded just absolutely fantastic. I thought the drums were a little loud and I think, but then they tuned him in, like maybe by halfway through Queen of the Reich. I was like, holy shit! And Walk in the Shadows, got to do that. I kind of agree with you with I Don't Believe in Love and Breaking the Silence being kind of sister songs. It did seem a little weird. It's just like almost like the whole big same song, kind of. When you see
they're
it
very
live.
similar.
Yeah. I would have. That was a good point. I didn't think of that until you brought that up. But Arrow of Time, I had seen that. I seen them play that when they saw that tour. I'm like, holy shit, Arrow of Time, and I totally forgot that I saw that in the list, and love that song. I think it was great. I don't mind NM 156. The crowd went fucking crazy, man, when that kicks in. We've come too far.
Yeah, people dig that song.
They just
I'm in the minority.
It,
I know.
I enjoyed the hell out of it. In our set though, London and Behind the Walls were flipped. They did London, then Behind the Walls in our set. London.
No, it was the same for me. It was NM 156, then London, then Behind the Walls.
Oh, I thought you had it flipped.
I may have read it wrong.
Okay. All right. Well, then it was right. It was the same then. Yeah, and just like you, I hadn't seen London perform since Jeff did Rage for Order and Empire. That was Monsters of Rock Cruise. Like the one night he did Rage for Order, then the second night he did Empire. But always cool to see that one. Take Hold of the Flame, BC's favorite song. He absolutely loves that. Speak. Crowd lost their shit, just like your crowd. Because I think it was in a great spot because, like, you see Take Hold of the Flame, you're like, yeah, and then it's like ramped up even more when when they play Speak. You know what I mean? It's just like, holy shit! Like, it's just like you're cruising, but like at that point you're on the highway and you want to pass that fucking old lady that's been holding you up for 20 minutes, and you pull out and you step on the gas. It's just like that. It just like shoots you into another area of the show. In Extremis, I like that. And I'll tell you what, the crowd was digging it, man. That chorus, did you ever? Like the crowd just like.
That's Behind the Walls.
Oh, Behind the Walls. I'm sorry.
You jumped back. You went from Speak back to Behind the Walls.
Oh, I did. Okay, yeah. Sorry, I forgot to talk about that. They were cranking that too for that chorus, but then when In Extremis came on, I'm like, and I think that was a good spot for it too.
Yeah, agreed.
You got a new song, two killer classic songs, and then boom, back to another new track that is rocking though. I mean, it's opening track from DNA, friggin' fantastic.
Dude, I'll tell you what, I fucking love that song, man. That's one of the ones that's like, I always liked it. Like when it first came out, I'm like, yeah, it's a cool opening track. I really dig it. But like, that's been a grower for me. Like that, the more I listen to that song, like the more I like it. Like, and then seeing it live again, like I love the guitar solo in that song so much. Like the way it starts off like kind of heavy and dark, and then it gets kind of bright, like towards the end. Like it feels like uplifting, like the way when the harmony guitars come in, like towards the end, like it just feels good. Like when you watch them play it, it's like, wow. And Todd sings it so well.
It's a well-written song.
Yeah. And you can feel a difference, I think. Well, I won't even say that because he performed everything very well. And one of the criticisms I've had of him over the years is he hits all the notes, but I don't feel it like when he sings some of the old songs, like where you do when Tate does. And that's just natural, I guess. I mean, you were there when it was created. You may have wrote it, or written it. That felt different this time. Like when he did the beginning of London, like I was like, oh, here it comes. Like, am I going to like this? It was fucking phenomenal. Like he made you feel that it was November 4th when I last held your hand. I mean, it was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, he did. He definitely did it justice.
Yeah, maybe it's just me evolving in my my fandom of the current version of the band, or maybe it's him evolving, or a combination of the two. But like, I felt it, and it was good. And that's been my one complaint is like he hits the notes in the old songs, but I just don't feel it. But I felt every single song on Tuesday night.
our show, thinking back, it feels like that London's not a rocker by any stretch of the imagination, but it seemed like more people knew, like, Behind the Walls than London.
Oh, not at mine.
Because I kind of looked around and I'm like,
when they played London,
and I'm like, there was kind of, I won't say it was flatline, but maybe just because of the pace of the song or whatever. But I don't know. Maybe I'm remembering it wrong, but it does seem like that was the case. I mean, we loved it. We're like, holy shit.
Down-tempo song, so it's going to naturally just kind of chill everybody out a little bit. But, dude, when they hit the chorus, like, you can even hear it on the video I took. Like, the whole crowd's, like, screaming the London part. Like, it was badass.
It may have been a case that with our crowd, maybe until it got to the chorus. You know what I mean? That it kind of, oh, shit, this is that song. That may have been the case for that.
Well, that's a deep cut, dude. I mean, we're like Queensrÿche nerds, So like to us, like that's not a deep, but that's like a deep ass cut. Like
it is.
If you were just a casual fan of like Mindcrime and Empire, and you probably had Rage for Order, but you only listened to side one or whatever, you know what I mean? Like that's a deep cut, and I take my hat off for them to pull that one out and to perform it as well as they did.
It was cool to see it, and that's the first time I've seen this version of the band do that, because I've only seen Jeff Tate do it.
Yeah, and I've said many times on the show, like, that song for me has been one of the songs that has risen the ranks of my rankings. Like, if I was re-ranking our Queensrÿche ranking, now that song would probably be higher than it is. It was just, for me, it was always like a deep cut. Like, I never really paid much attention to it, but like in the last 5 years, like that song, like I really have a new appreciation for London. I was so glad to hear it live.
Yeah, it was very cool to see that one. Jet City Woman, crowd went nuts doing that one too. Great chorus. I want to say for our show, Empire was the one that people were like really losing their shit the most. The da 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 da, like everyone's head was fucking banging when they kicked into that. And they went off with that when they come back with My Empty Room and then Eyes of a Stranger. That's when he introduces the band during Eyes of a Stranger. Wait, no, they went off with Eyes of a Stranger. I'm sorry, and that's when they introduced the band, and then they went off, come back out with Newer Gal, and then I was like, and I totally, like I said, I had seen the set list, but I didn't dwell on it and didn't really think about it, and then I totally forgot that they did Newer Gal and Revolution Calling at the end. I'm like, that was like so awesome to see that at the end of the show. I was, because when they come on and they did Newer Gal, I'm thinking back, what the fuck are they gonna do? I was literally racking my brain, and it's funny too because we were maybe 20 rows back, and then 2 rows ahead of us was the rest of our crew, was my buddy Granza and Mo and all those guys. They had almost the whole row, but there were people at the end, like they were on the opposite side of the aisle that we were on. So those other people left. So I went down with those guys for like the last couple songs, and like we just like rocked. I was glad to get to rock out with those guys too. My buddy Mo, man, he's when like Steve Harris does the jumping for Fear of the Dark, he does the jumping, like my buddy Mo does that all the time. Like when the chorus is kicking, he's a jumper. He's got me jumping now. I'm like, oh my god. And then when they did Newer Gal, my friend Kat, she is one of my friends that I want to get her and my her other friend Kit on there, Kit and Kat. How about that? 2 awesome rockers. They are fantastic women, and they're the ones I was telling you that have done the Jeff Tate wine trip and all that stuff. I would like to get them on at some point. So she lost her shit when they did Newer Gal. She was like, "Oh my god, I never thought that I'd ever see this live," and like she lost her shit. But it was cool to get down there, rock with those guys. And like I said, ending the set with Revolution Calling was like, fuck, like, yes. Because I just, like I said, I was racking my brain. I could not remember what they did last, because I'm like, okay, they did Night of the Stranger, they did Empire, they did Jet City Woman, they did Take Hold of the Flame. And I'm like, what's left that they've closed with?
For a closing song, yeah.
Yeah, but when this came out, I'm like, holy shit. It was kind of like, it went like full circle, because like how at the end of Eyes of a Stranger usually comes back to like Anarchy X at the end there. It was kind of like that. So I thought it was a great ending to the show.
Yeah, it was badass.
It was a great night of just metal and friendship and rocking out with your friends. And I have another story to tell you, but I'll have to tell you off camera that is just absolutely insane. But I'll save that for.
You're gonna tease our audience like that.
Look at you. And it has nothing to do with Queensrÿche at all. It just has to do with circumstances at this night. But it's totally insane. What did I tell you? You'll be laughing your ass off. But just a great night. And like I said, the venue is only like 35 minutes from us, so there was no big deal travel wise. We didn't have, it was like a little chilly, but like no rain or nothing like that. Next Wednesday, the night before Thanksgiving, we're going to be seeing Zach Sabbath.
Oh.
So looking forward to that one. I'm gonna. The deal was that for Queensrÿche I can accept BB drove, so I could enjoy some extra cocktails.
You fellas been doing a bit of boozing, have you? Sucking back on Grandpa's old cough medicine?
But for the Zach Sabbath one, I'm gonna drive to that one, so those guys.
You're the DD.
So those guys could do it, yeah. So, but it's going to be fun. But it was just a fantastic night, and I was even more pumped up to go. And like we've said before, Ray and I don't talk about what we're going to do and how the show was, but I could tell just seeing the pictures from the meet and greet and the the few comments that he made in our asylum text group.
Text message says, "Dude," with a bunch of dots after.
Yep. And I'm like, okay, I'm glad he went, and so I'm thinking that because we had this scheduled, so I'm like, okay, it's going to be good, but we don't talk about what we're going to talk about, beforehand, so it's always just fresh when we do it. So, but it was just a great night. Loved it. I would have been
it was
pissed if I didn't go, which there was no chance I would have not went.
Yeah, and do me a favor, and the next time I start talking shit like that, just slap me right then and there, like, because I'm going to go. Oh, I didn't go to the Origins tour, which I was actually regretting that too after seeing this show. I was like, fuck, I should have went to that one too.
I don't want to mention it, but
Well, still, that one I'm okay with missing. If I would have missed this one, I'd have been pissed. Like, I'd have been like, what is wrong with you? So yeah, I will never miss another one. This was phenomenal.
Welcome.
They just, I've never left. I just,
I mean, to your
while,
senses.
Yeah. So my hat is off. I tip my cap. I bow. Whatever you want to say. Like these guys, this tour, Volume and Vengeance, go and see it. Sell all those damn tickets. This show deserves to be seen. It deserves to be packed houses every single night. And I felt bad that ours wasn't packed, but the crowd that was there was very, very energetic and vocal. And you would not have known it wasn't full, based on the reaction of the crowd and the noise level. So yeah, all in all, just a phenomenal night, a great package of music. And I don't really know that I have anything else. We've been talking about it for a while now. So.
No, I think that we covered it pretty well, and so we got one more little thing to do here.
So we were thinking like this show's coming out the week of Thanksgiving, hopefully, or shortly thereafter. So let's talk about things we're thankful for. we decided, like, let's put together a list of 5 things about, Queensrÿche or Queensrÿche adjacent that we are thankful for as we close out 2025 and look forward to 2026. I can say this has been the fastest year I think I can ever remember living. Like, it literally feels like it was just Christmas time, and now here we are. It's Thanksgiving again.
Yeah,
and we're getting right back. Like, the year was just a blur. But in looking back, and I was able to come up with a list of things that I am thankful for, obviously, in life and around Queensrÿche. So, Steve, you want to go first? Or you want me to go first?
You go ahead.
We may have some. Again, we don't compare notes. We may have some repeats on here. So
yeah, that was a text. Do we want to share? I'm like, nah, fuck it, we'll wing it.
Yeah. So the first thing I have is, and these are really in no particular order except for my number one. I'm thankful that the band that I love and have loved for all these years, and I just learned I've known this for a while from hearing from people, but just learned it firsthand this week, are just wonderful human beings. Like, these dudes are just good people. Like, Todd LaTorre might be the nicest person I've ever met in my life in this business. Like, of all the people I've ever met over the years, and there was a lot because I worked concert security as a college student back in the late 80s and I've been around this world a long time. Maybe the nicest person I've ever met, and so genuine, and so just everything about it was amazing, and interacting with all the guys again. Like, I am thankful that the band I love isn't a bunch of dicks like some bands are. And we'll let them remain nameless for now, but these guys are just great human beings. So that's the first thing I got.
This one's called London.
First thing for me goes to the Monsters of Rock cruise that we hit every year. That I would love to see Ray come on that with us. Also, by the way, just saying. Mine is, when you go on the Monsters of Rock cruise, every band plays twice. It's a massive, massive pet peeve of mine. There are so many bands that do the same goddamn set list for both shows. It is lazy. I think it's disrespectful to their fans. It's ridiculous. I've seen bands that have like one album out and they do different sets. You get a band that's been around forever and they play the same exact set like 2 nights, like 2 times in a row on the ship. Just I think it sucks. And I'm thankful that Queensrÿche, they do different sets each night. Like the last time they did the morning, then they mixed it up with new stuff and Mindcrime and Empire stuff like on the next night. So they do 2 different sets, and I'm really thankful that they do that, because I would be so pissed at them if they didn't. Especially bands like that have such a broad catalog. Yep. Yeah, that they do themselves justice on that. So that's my number one. Well, my first one.
Yeah. No, that's a great point. And we've talked about that before. Like, if you're going to have a captive audience, at least you can do is throw in a couple of different songs. You don't have to do a totally different set, but like at least have a couple you roll in and out.
Yeah, and they have an hour. Each band plays for an hour, so it's not like they are shoved into a half hour, 20-minute set like you get on some of these multiple band tours.
Yeah, like a festival or something.
Right.
All right, so the second thing I have that I am thankful for, and this is again something I experienced this week, and this is more Queensrÿche adjacent and just, I guess, hard rock metal in general, I'm thankful for the feelings that I feel whenever I'm at a live show. There is nothing else like it in the world that makes you feel the way you feel whenever you are watching a band that you love. And this goes for any band, not just Queensrÿche. Like, it makes you, like, dude, I felt like I was 14 years old again on Tuesday. Like, I felt like a kid. And I acted like a kid by banging my head and throwing my arm in the air. And I've been paying the price for it ever since because I'm not a kid anymore. But that feeling is just something that, like, and it's just the energy, it's the aura, it's the whatever endorphins or whatever get released in your body. Like, there is nothing else like it in the world than that feeling when you are right there and the guys you came to see are on that stage in front of you playing the songs that you love. Even if they're playing a song you don't know, you still feel that bass drum punching you in the chest and those guitars and the vocals, and like, there's nothing else like it. And I love the fact that, and I'm thankful for the fact that that feeling exists, whatever that feeling is. And I'm sure Tim will probably call in and tell us what that feeling is called on the next episode, but whatever it is, it's fucking phenomenal.
Yeah, you know what? I gotta take that one step further. That feeling is amazing. I mean, it brings you back to where you were when you first saw them. Like, some bands you thought you'd never get to see live, you got to see them live. But there's a couple shows throughout the years that I've gone to by myself. Loved them, had a great time. But it's so much better also when you're with your friends, your loved ones, your fellow metalheads that you know. Like, I mean, there's time, we're punching each other and grabbing each other and shaking the shit out of each other at these shows, and I think that makes it like all that much better. So that was a good one. I like that one. My next one is going to be the current band keeping the spirit of Queensrÿche alive. Harkening back, lately digging deeper. I mean, I know you weren't really down with the Origins tour, but like they gave the fans that. They put that out there for the people that are just the, if you want to call it the Jeff Tate era and stuff like that. But then they come right back with this tour, and then they're throwing some more of the newer tracks in there. And when they've toured in the past, when I've seen them for the past tours, like they've done like Arrow of Time and songs like that when Parker was in the band and stuff like that. I'm so glad that them and Jeff Tate, they're keeping the spirit of Queensrÿche alive, the whole general feel of them.
Yeah, and you mentioned the Origins tour not being for me, and I've gone on about that forever. Shame on me, because that's like, I'm like the ultimate hypocrite when it comes to music. Because I bitch and moan about stuff, and then when other bands do the same thing I was bitching and moaning about for another band, like I'll bitch and moan about that because they did what I wanted the other band to do. And you're right, like I was saying, I think on one of the last episodes, like, I don't know if I want to hear Todd sing these songs anymore because it just I don't get the same feeling. But like Tuesday night, I had that same feeling, and like, it was like, dude, what the fuck is wrong with you? Like, it doesn't matter who is up there singing these songs. It's the songs themselves and the music itself that like makes these what they are. And it's like somebody I saw a post the other day online, like, something about Queensrÿche, and if some asshole has to jump on and say, "Oh, it's not Queensrÿche without Jeff Tate and Chris DeGarmo," and the person responded, "Oh, so does that mean like you can't root for the Yankees because Babe Ruth isn't there anymore?" I was like, "Oh my God, that's such a great perspective." Like, I don't root for the Yankees anyway, but I mean, insert whatever your team is. Like, it'd be like me saying, "Well, I can't be a Steeler fan anymore because Terry Bradshaw retired, in 1981 or whatever." It's like,
yeah, and Aaron Rodgers is the quarterback now. Come on.
Yeah, you're rooting for clothing. You know what I mean? Like, and then when it comes to music, like we're fans of the logo or the mascot or the Eddie or the Tri-Reich, or you know what I mean? Like, it's still the music.
As long as it's done justice. You know what I mean? As long as it's not some hack up there fucking shit up and sounds terrible.
And, I love David Lee Roth. He's one of my favorite people ever in the history of this business. I love old Van Halen.
I know
he's making a mockery out of the legacy right now with what he's doing. I mean, he looks ridiculous. He sounds ridiculous. His band is killer. I'll give him that. The background singers are really good. But like, dude, what are you doing?
Yeah, I won't go see that because of that.
No.
I want to remember Dave how I remember Dave. I thought he was really good when he opened up for Kiss on the one leg of the...
I heard that. I didn't get a chance to see
the
the
road
artist
tour. I thought he was really
them.
good. He wasn't the guy on Lost in Space, the professor guy. He looked like that guy up
wow,
there.
He does look like him. I didn't even think about that. Wow.
So I refuse to go see any of that. What he's
but again,
doing
here I am going to be a hypocrite again. Like, yeah, I won't go see that, but if it came, I probably would, just so I could see David Lee Roth one more time. You know what I mean? And I have regrets that I didn't go see Ace Frehley when he was at Jurgles, here locally a couple of months ago. Because I'm thinking, it's Ace, he tours all the time. I'll go see him next time or whatever. And like, now he's gone.
Right.
So it's just, I'm such a hypocrite, and I fully admit that. So, and I get it if you do pay the money to go see, Dawkins, another good example. Like, I mean, come on, man. Like, Don can't sing anymore. He just basically sings through the songs. But like, you know what? You want to be in the same room with Don Dawkins for an hour and a half and hear those songs, even if they're not up to par, then I'm not going to criticize you for it. But
that's my saying. I say it on Potter Than Hell all the time. People just want to hear the songs.
Yeah,
they want to hear the songs.
Yeah, you look at
like Foreigner, stuff like that.
And Skinner are touring this summer, and neither one of them have an original member in the band.
I don't care. I would go to that show because I like the music. Yeah. But there's we're critical about a lot of stuff like that, and we are hypocrites with stuff like that. But like that's an example of two bands where I don't care, because most people couldn't name anybody in Foreigner or Lynyrd Skynyrd.
Yeah, so I don't even know what my point was when we started that conversation, but like, yeah, just enjoy the music. It is what it is. So moving on, my next thing I'm thankful for is that there is going to be a new Queensrÿche album in 2026, and that is something that I can't wait for. I think they just continue to get better and better as the current version of the band. That's one of the things I said to them. I had all 5 of them there together. I said, I'm not being critical of like your set, your show, your old material. I love it all, but like, I just want you 5 guys to be proud of the music that you're creating together. And they're all like, oh, we are. It's just, we don't want to bore the audience. It's like, okay, I get it. It's just, you guys are creating phenomenal music, the 5 of you together. And I'm just really excited that we're going to get another dose of that in 2026 at some point. Sounds like probably later half of the year, but Michael even said at the meet and greet, he's like, yeah, there's just so much, there's not enough time to get everybody together. And like, we're touring so much and we just got to kind of piece it together. And that's kind of one thing that's really changed, I guess, for a lot of artists is like, there's just not that, all right, we're going to take 6 months off and record an album.
They can't afford to anymore.
Do that anymore. Yeah, right. Because the only place you make money is on the road. Playing shows and selling merch. So they've got to stay on the road to keep the thing going. So. But yeah, I'm very thankful for that. I think the band is firing on all cylinders right now as a live act, and I really can't wait to hear what new material that they put out in the year ahead.
Yeah, we have a double here, so I'll just expand on that. That was one of mine too. New music from them, and the new music that we've gotten from Jeff Tate over the years too. That they're still creating. You know what I mean? They still want to put something out to satisfy people like you and I. But I think it's artists like that. I think they need to do that. I think it keeps them fresh. It keeps them engaged, even if they're only going to play like one or two songs from it. But they know that there are fans like us that are going to enjoy it and going to bitch about it that they're not playing it, which is totally fine. But I am very happy that they're still into it enough where they're creating new music and it's going to be put out. And like I said, same thing with Jeff Tate too. Those we reviewed one of his albums on the podcast here, so we have a couple more to go on that too. But it's good, it's refreshing, and I can't wait to hear what they're doing, because I get excited because I think I'll text you, like they'll post the picture every now and then, like say maybe not on the Queensrÿche, but like Michael Wilton's, hey, we're like a picture of him and Stoney sitting there with Zeus, their producer. And I'm like, oh shit, all right, they're putting something down. So I'm always excited to see that. And I've spoke about it before, I love the process, the recording process, the just like seeing videos of bands riffing and recording. I just love that shit, and I hope that we get some kind of video documentation of them making this new album. So yeah, we're double on that one.
Yeah, and the next one I have is kind of along the same lines of what you were just talking about, and really kind of related to the new album. I'm thankful that Queensrÿche, Jeff Tate, Scott Rockenfield just put out a new album. Whip put out his solo album, probably close to a year ago now.
Last year.
Todd LaTorre's got solo material. I'm just glad all these guys are just still going strong, and like you mentioned, capturing the spirit of the band. Like now it's like it's almost better because you can go see Jeff Tate. I went to see Jeff Tate in October. I went to see Queensrÿche in November, and they were both just mind-blowing shows to me. And like you couldn't have done that when they were all still together. Like you only got to see them once. Now it's like, oh, I got two different versions of, I won't say the same thing, but the same source material, and like it's just incredible. And then like you've got Scott Rockenfield releasing a new album, you've got LaTorre working on a new album, new solo album, and he's talked about maybe doing solo tours at some points. Like there's just all this Queensrÿche and Queensrÿche adjacent content that's out there and available, and they're all just still going strong, they're all healthy, and they're all doing well, and they seem like they've at least on the surface buried the hatchet with the old issues that they had. It's just a good feeling to know that they're all still out there, they're still active, and they're still all kicking ass. They're not making a mockery of who they were and what they did.
Yeah, absolutely. I totally agree with that. Like I said, I spoke on that too. So my next one is going to be, I don't know if they or whoever listens to our podcast, they definitely stepped up their merch. Last couple tours, it was like, oh, it's just like the morning shirt or the first logo, but like I thought they had twice as much merch on this last tour, a better variety of stuff, and I just was happy to see that they've expanded what they're putting out. I was surprised though, for actually both bands, that there were no like vinyl there, but you know, other than that, because I know the last time I saw Accept with KK's Priest, they had one box set of Restless and Live, and it was signed by everybody, and I bought it. So maybe I had the last one from Accept, but you know, I didn't see any vinyl from either one. But it looks like they absolutely did step up their merch.
Yeah, the merch was good. We got to hang out with Dino, the guy that's their merch manager, and he was a character. He was a lot of fun. He was still setting up like as we were there. Yeah, he was like letting us check out all the material and stuff. You know, I like a nice T-shirt. Like I don't like the real thin material stuff, which theirs are okay. I think I bought an Accept shirt also. That theirs is. I think the shirt itself is better. I like the Queensrÿche print better, but I like the actual T-shirt quality of the Accept one better. But yeah, their merch game was much better. I will tell you, I forgot to mention this. Todd did say that he has listened to the show before.
Cool.
He said you tagged me in the one where you're talking about the set list, the Todd Latore era set list. He's like, of course I'm going to listen to that. And I said, oh, so you've listened. I said, I hope you didn't listen to any of the episodes where I talk shit about you. And he laughed. He's like, what do you mean you talk shit about me? That's actually when he went and got the chair. It was just funny. Like he was like, no, man, everybody talks shit about me. It's okay. And he said, a lot of times it's well deserved. I'm like, well, I said, no, we're very fair, I think, on the show. I said, you can't like everything. He's like, no, especially if you're doing a podcast, you can't like just go on there and say, well, I like this, I like that. What about you? I love that. That'd be boring.
That'd be so insincere.
Who wants to hear that? Yeah. So he did bring that up. He was the only one though that I could get to admit to that. The other ones were like, yeah, whatever, dude. You have a podcast? What's that?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's fun. So how many more do you have? I only have one left because I think a couple of mine morphed together. Okay, well, we may have the same last one also. So the number one thing that is Queensrÿche or Queensrÿche adjacent that I am thankful for, Steve, is this show, you, our audience, and this thing that we have built and are continuing to build. This show means a lot to me. Like, I really, really enjoy doing it. I am very, very proud of the show that we do and the quality of it. I listen to a lot of music podcasts, and when we first set out to do this, I said, if we're going to do this, let's do it right. And I think you're bringing Tim aboard and all that he does for us in terms of making the show sound good. And he just is such an integral part of what we do. And it's fun for us because, you know, we record and it's a mess. We send everything to Tim and then he puts it all together. And it just sounds like a slickly produced professional podcast, because it is, and that's what Tim does for a living. I mean, he does this as his job. So I am just so thankful for everything that we've built, for the friendship that you and I have, for the people that we've met along the way, for the audience that we have, and just the fact that in the year 2025, the two 50-something-year-old guys can sit around and talk about Queensrÿche for a couple hours every few weeks, and that there's hundreds, if not thousands, of people all around the world that like to listen to what we have to say. So I'm very thankful for everything we build here, and of course, most of all, for our audience.
I had the same exact thing for my number one.
I thought you might.
yeah. So it's awesome. We don't get to record as often as we like, but I think that when we do, I think we, do the material justice, and the main thing for me is this, our friendship out of this too. Yep. And I know we've talked about this kind of ad nauseum, like you make lifelong friends over this stuff. And when I was a firefighter for 30 years, I made a lot of friendships through that, lifelong friendships. But through music, I've made probably double that friendships over the years from that. Just when you remember back in the day, you used to go to clubs all the time. You'd see the same people all the time, and then you'd kind of, hey, boom, I see you all the time, and then you're friends, and you're still, these are the same guys, even though you're not going to clubs. You're still seeing these guys at the shows. You're still, interacting with these guys. It's amazing, and I am so thankful for this podcast, that the friendship that we've built and Tim's amazing what he does with us. Like we're a train wreck half the time, and like sometimes we're like before we start, like I can't hear Ray, he can't hear me, I can't see him, he can't see me, and it's like someone's muted or not muted, and
like
someone's
the Two
talking.
Stooges.
yeah. So, but we've gotten better. We have gotten better. And Tim brings that all together, because there's sometimes you'll get tongue-tied, and then, okay, Tim, let me do that again. And Tim's probably, like, I would say pulling out his hair, but he really doesn't have much. Pulling out his beard, how about that? But I really appreciate everything that Tim does for this podcast, and it's just fun doing this. I don't mind getting up early on my days off and stuff to do this at all. I mean,
prefer it, actually.
I do too.
It's a great way to start the day.
Yeah, and then you got the rest of your day to do whatever the hell you want to do. So, yeah, that's my number one too. Just thankful for my friendship with Ray, for Tim, all of our supporters out there and listeners, and I really appreciate the feedback we get, and the friendships we've made with people that just interact with us for the podcast and everything. So it's great. It's awesome, and I really appreciate everyone's support out there, and we're trucking along here.
Yeah, I think we're going to get this episode out hopefully Thanksgiving week, and then we've got another one scheduled for early December. We'll probably get that out mid-December. That'll probably be the last one of the year. Maybe we might squeeze one more in. And I think we're going to kick off 2026 with the top 10 of the countdown. I think that'd be a great way to start the new year, and then we'll move into the listener rankings and all that stuff. So we've got all kinds of cool stuff planned for the year ahead, and the closing of this year. And again, we're both just so thankful for everybody out there listening to us and making the show what it is, and just cannot thank you all enough. Hope everybody out there has a wonderful holiday season, whatever holidays you celebrate. I hope it's awesome. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody, to our American listeners, and Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Happy Kwanzaa, whatever you celebrate. I hope it's awesome at the end of the year. So we have a large umbrella and a large tent, and we welcome everybody and all people to this audience. And that's another thing about music, is just such a wide variety of people that you get to meet. People you'd never think you would ever have a chance to socialize with. You have that one common bond in music, and it really is a cool kind of multicultural type thing. So anyway, all right, happy Thanksgiving, everybody, and thank you again. We're going to wrap this up. So you've been listening to I Remember Now, the Queensrÿche podcast. We're available on Apple, Spotify, Amazon, or wherever you get your podcasts. Please subscribe to the show, leave us a review or a rating on whatever platform you use. I Remember Now is a proud member of the TLD Podcast Network. The TLD Network hosts a variety of shows, including The Less Desirables, Wheeler's Dog, Beeswax Vinyl Daily, The Asylum Podcast, and many, many more. Please check out the other shows on the network wherever you get your podcasts, or you can find them all at tldpodnetwork.com. If you'd like to be a part of the show, please give us a call on the TLD Network Hotline, 336-422-6862. You can leave us a message on the show we did today, or anything we've done in the past, or anything you'd like us to do in the future, or just whatever, and we will get you on the next episode. You can find us at our website, IRememberNowPodcast.com. On social media, the Facebook page is I Remember Now, the Queensrÿche Podcast. On X, we are at I Remember Now Pod. We're also on Instagram, but I'm not an Instagram guy, and I've done nothing with it, so we're going to try to get that up and running in the new year as well. You can also email the show, and you can also send your voice messages to the show at feedback@IRememberNowPodcast.com. Love getting your feedback on every episode, and it means so much to us that our listeners interact and share their opinions. Just makes the show better. So please send those to us when you get a chance. So until next time, my name is Ray.
And this is Steve.
Saying thanks again for listening to I Remember Now, the Queensrÿche Podcast, and we will talk to you soon.
We're going to get a picture with you guys, all right? So let's see those hands in the air.
If you'd like to make a call, please hang up and try again. If you need help, hang up and then dial your operator.